I wasn't gonna rap at first,
Mm.
but I was around Vaughn. Vaughn was telling me like, you might just start rapping. Like, man, I don't know how to rap, man. I don't even know how to. I don't know how to do nothing with it.
Muwop never set out to be a rapper. He was just another kid growing up in Parkway Gardens, famously known as O Block on Chicago's South Side.
I've always been laid back as hell, man. I ain't gonna lie, I'm comparing to HK. Heck, man, from the week, he always been calm, cool, low, mouth, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't talk to niggas who not his guys. Like, you probably come around him and think he don't like to talk to niggas. You said because, like, if you ain't one of his niggas, he don't talk to. You know what I'm saying? But he always been cool, calm, collected. You know what I'm saying? Never out his body or cool. Over the top, you know, shit like that, flamboyant, always chill.
But then King, one of Muwop's closest friends, started rising in the rap game. V, who also came from the same block, saw potential in Muwop and pushed him to start rapping. He would tell him, "Tune man, you might as well start rapping. There's a way out." It was as if V was trying to pull him toward a better life, away from the streets and into the studio. At first, it felt like a blessing. V had the blueprint. He had gone from being in and out of jail to signing with Lil Durk's OTF label, dropping hits like Crazy Story and Took Her to the O. But even as V found success in music, he remained deeply tied to the streets. He didn't just rap about the violence and the beef, he lived it. The line between being a rapper and a street figure blurred, the line between being a rapper and a gang member blurred, and Muwop found himself caught in that gray area. Instead of fully stepping into the rap game, he became V's right-hand man, his muscle, and according to the feds, his alleged hitman. Muwop was known in the streets long before the music. He wasn't just someone hanging around for clout. He had a reputation. People feared him, and in Chicago, reputations like that usually come from one thing: bodies. The streets talk, and while nothing was ever officially proven, Muwop's name had been tied to serious events long before the cameras started rolling. But everything changed on August 4th, 2020, the day FBG Duck was murdered in broad daylight. Duck wasn't just another rapper, he was one of the biggest names from the GD side, specifically from STL EBT, a neighborhood that had been beefing with O Block for years.
Convicted 6 men for the murder of rapper FBG Duck. FBG Duck, whose real name is Carlton Weekly, was shot and killed while shopping in the Gold Coast back in August 2020.
I sit and look at that video of that boy being the main mother that got out the car and shot my son. Muwop was the first mother that hopped out and shit. Then 3 months later, I got to see him carry mine. He going nuts. And that's what blows me, because it ain't no winning.
This wasn't just a rap beef, it was real, with bodies on both sides. Duck had lost friends to the war, and so had V and Muwop. Their feud was personal. On that August afternoon, Duck was shopping in Chicago's upscale Gold Coast neighborhood, a place where violence like this was almost unheard of. He was inside Dolce & Gabbana, picking out clothes for his son, when 2 cars pulled up. 4 masked shooters jumped out and ambushed him, spraying over 38 rounds. Duck was hit multiple times. He tried to fight back, reaching for his gun, but it jammed, leaving him defenseless. He bled out on the sidewalk in one of Chicago's wealthiest areas. The hit was brutal and reckless, the kind of act people compared to mob hits from the 1930s. Broad daylight, masked shooters, an upscale location, and a complete disregard for witnesses. It was meant to send a message, but that's where things got messy. While the streets whispered about who might have been behind it, the feds were already building a case. They had been watching O Block closely, especially Muwop. Since the murder was so bold, surveillance footage captured everything. The shooters leaving O Block, getting into 2 cars, racing through the city, pulling up to Duck, and then heading straight back to O Block after the job was done. But what made it worse was the self-snitching that followed. O Block members went on social media, practically bragging about the hit, posting pictures, throwing up gang signs, and referencing King Von's lyrics. Muwop jumped on tracks that seemed to hint at the murder, and then there was King Von himself. Just days after the hit, he went to Icebox Jewelers in Atlanta and bought custom O Block chains for his crew. In the Icebox video, Von spoke about the meaning behind the chains. Some were for fallen O-Block members like O.D. Perry, but he also hinted that certain chains were for those who had put in work, a way of rewarding loyalty. He didn't say it outright, but the timing spoke volumes. The chains came right after Duck's murder, and people quickly connected the dots. The feds did too. When they raided O-Block, investigators found handwritten notes in the cars used for Duck's murder, including SE's murder victim's phone number and social media handles. Photos surfaced of Muwop and others posing with those same cars. It all led to a federal RICO case. In October 2021, the feds moved in, arresting Muwop along with 4 other O-Block members, C-Murder, Loss, Kenny Mack, and DQ, charging them with the murder of FBG Duck under a federal RICO indictment. But it wasn't just about Duck's murder. The feds were targeting the entire O-Block gang structure, using the case as a way to dismantle it.
I ain't do nothing.
Yeah, you didn't do nothing. Relax. You guys with him? Keep walking. Keep walking. Come here, man. Why you running? Why you running, man?
Yes, you are about to.
Why you running? Huh? No, you didn't run? Keep walking. I know, that's fine. Let me talk to you. Let me talk to you.
Get up. Hold on. Check your side, bro.
Yeah. Gun right here. Yeah, got it? Got it? Good. Good.
Right. You guys, you're at 6426.
When Muwop got arrested, he tried to play it cool, telling fans he was keeping his head high and would be out soon. But the reality was grim. Facing a RICO charge with a murder attached meant he was looking at life in prison. Then, rumors started swirling. Some claimed Muwop didn't even want to get out, that he felt safer in jail than on the streets, where he had countless enemies and too much heat. For him, freedom could be a death sentence. The fall of Muwop and the indictment of O-Block felt like the end of an era. King Von was already gone, killed in Atlanta during a fight with Quando Rondo's crew just months after Duck's murder. Now Muwop and the others were facing life, and it seemed like the streets were finally catching up with everyone. But the deeper question remained. Why? Why was King Von, with millions in legal money, still so tied to the streets? Why did he allegedly put a $100,000 bounty on FBG Duck's head, as the FBI's informant claimed? Why drag Muwop and the others into a murder plot when there was a clear path out? That's the tragic reality of the Chicago drill scene. Even when you make it out, the streets don't let you go. The beefs run too deep. The losses are too personal. For guys like Muwop, who grew up in that environment, it was more than just music. It was real life. And sometimes loyalty to the block outweighs the opportunity to leave it behind. If Muwop had focused solely on rap, who knows where he'd be now? He had the cosign from King Von, ties to OTF, and the kind of street credibility that the drill scene values. He could have been another success story. But instead, he's sitting in federal prison, possibly for the rest of his life, all because of choices that seemed inevitable in a world where survival often means picking the streets over the studio. It's a cycle that keeps repeating. Talented, young men with a way out, but the streets won't let go. And for Muwop, it's clear that the streets claimed him long before the feds did.